What is a sacrament? A sacrament is an outward sign instituted by Christ to give grace. How many sacraments are there? There are 7 sacraments: baptism, confirmation, Holy Eucharist, penance, extreme unction, holy orders, and matrimony. Whence have the sacraments the power of giving grace? The sacraments have the power of giving grace from the merits of Jesus Christ. What grace do the sacraments give? Some of the sacraments give sanctifying grace, and others increase it in our souls. Which are the sacraments that give sanctifying grace? The sacraments that give sanctifying grace are baptism and penance, and they are called sacraments of the dead. Why are baptism and penance called sacraments of the dead? Baptism and penance are called sacraments of the dead because they take away sin, which is the death of the soul, and give grace, which is its life. Which are the sacraments that increase sanctifying grace in our soul? The sacraments that increase sanctifying grace in our soul are confirmation, Holy Eucharist, extreme unction, holy orders, and matrimony, and they are called sacraments of the living. Why are confirmation, Holy Eucharist, extreme unction, holy orders, and matrimony called sacraments of the living? Confirmation, Holy Eucharist, extreme unction, holy orders, and matrimony are called sacraments of the living because those who receive them worthily are already living the life of grace. What sin does he commit who receives the sacraments of the living in mortal sin? He who receives the sacraments of the living in mortal sin commits a sacrilege, which is a great sin because it is an abuse of a sacred thing. Besides sanctifying grace, do the sacraments give any other grace? Besides sanctifying grace, the sacraments give another grace called sacramental. What is sacramental grace? Sacramental grace is a special help which God gives to attain the end for which He instituted each sacrament. Do the sacraments always give grace? The sacraments always give grace if we receive them with the right dispositions. Can we receive the sacraments more than once? We can receive the sacraments more than once, except baptism, confirmation, and holy orders. Why can we not receive baptism, confirmation, and holy orders more than once? We cannot receive baptism, confirmation, and holy orders more than once because they imprint a character in the soul. What is the character which these sacraments imprint in the soul? The character which these sacraments imprint in the soul is a spiritual mark which remains forever. Does this character remain in the soul even after death? This character remains in the soul even after death, for the honor and glory of those who are saved, for the shame and punishment of those who are lost.